There are some things we see so often, we just don't even notice them anymore. Yet, this one little object has saved literally billions of lives. Today, we're going to pull back the plunger on the hidden history of one of medicine's most vital tools, the syringe.
I want you to try and imagine something for a second. A world where a simple infection could be a death sentence, where doctors, even with life-saving medicines, had no choice but to crudely slice into a patient's veins. That sounds like a nightmare, right? But for most of human history, that wasn't a nightmare. That was just medicine.
And then, boom, one tiny little invention changed absolutely everything. It's an object that fits in the palm of your hand, but its story? Oh, it's way more epic than you'd think, touching on everything from battlefield medicine and addiction, all the way to the future of space travel.
Okay, so to really get how important the syringe is, we have to go back to a time before it existed. And I gotta warn you, the early attempts at this whole injection thing, they were pretty grim.
So get this. For centuries, doctors in places like ancient Greece and Rome were trying to do injections with things like hollowed-out bird bones and animal bladders. Yeah, they had zero concept of germs or sterilization, so it was basically a lottery. You might get the cure, or you might get a guaranteed deadly infection. Not great odds.
All right, so the real game changer, that came in the mid-19th century. This is where the concept of an injection finally met the right technology and things really started to click.
And what's so cool is that the modern syringe wasn't just one person's idea. It was like this perfect storm of innovation. You had a Scottish doctor who figured out how to make a needle fine enough to actually pierce the skin, and then at almost the exact same time, a French surgeon designed the piston part to push the liquid through. When those two ideas finally came together, man, it changed modern medicine forever.
I mean, you have to understand, this was a total revolution. For the very first time, doctors could just bypass the whole slow and unpredictable digestive system. This meant medicine could get right into the bloodstream, making treatments work faster and with more precision than anyone had ever dreamed of.
But you know how it goes. With great power comes, well, unforeseen problems. And this powerful new tool, it had a really unexpected dark side that nobody saw coming.
So back in the late 1800s, doctors were thrilled. They started injecting morphine, thinking it was this miracle painkiller. They even thought it was non-addictive, right? Because it bypassed the stomach. They were tragically wrong. Turns out, delivering the drug directly to the brain that quickly led to massive addiction, especially for wounded soldiers. It got so bad it earned this really grim nickname, the soldier's disease.
But okay, for all that potential for harm, the syringe's power for good was just overwhelming. In the 20th century, it became our #1 weapon in the war against humanity's biggest killers: smallpox, polio, diphtheria. Think about it. This one simple tool is what made mass vaccination even possible, and that saved millions upon millions of lives.
And all of this led to one of the greatest public health victories in all of human history. In 1980, after a monumental global effort powered by the humble syringe, smallpox, a disease that had tormented us for thousands of years, was declared officially gone, eradicated from the entire planet. Just incredible.
But the story doesn't stop there. Because the evolution of the syringe is also a story about engineering. It's about constantly tweaking and refining the design to make it safer and more effective. And the science behind it? It's actually beautifully simple. It's all about pressure. When you pull the plunger back, you create this low-pressure area inside, and that just sucks the liquid in. Then you push the plunger forward, creating high pressure, which forces the liquid out through that tiny needle. It's just elegant physics right in your hand.
Now, for a long time, most of the 20th century actually, syringes were made of glass and metal. They were designed to be sterilized and reused, but this created a brand new deadly problem. See, when that sterilization process wasn't perfect, these tools that were meant to heal actually became vectors, spreading diseases like hepatitis and HIV all across the globe. So what was the solution? Well, it came in the 1950s. The disposable plastic syringe. It was cheap, it was already sterilized, and you only used it once. This simple switch from glass to plastic was a massive game changer, dramatically cutting down the spread of bloodborne infections all over the world. And the innovation didn't stop there either. Today, we have things called smart syringes. Global health organizations rely on them. They have this really simple but totally genius feature. Once you use it, the plunger locks. It's physically impossible to use it again. It's such a tiny design tweak, but it has a massive life-saving impact.
So, where do we go from here? What's next for the syringe?
Well, believe it or not, the evolution of this incredible tool is far from over. In fact, the syringe of tomorrow might not even look like a syringe at all.
So what if I told you the future of injections had no needles at all? It sounds like science fiction, but scientists are developing systems that use a super high-pressure jet of liquid, think of it like a microscopic power washer, to push medicine right through the skin. No needle required.
So what does that mean? Well, for starters, less pain, no more fear of needles. And for healthcare workers, it means no more accidental needle stick injuries. And this isn't just a sci-fi dream. Jet injectors are already being used for things like insulin and some vaccines.
And here's a fun fact for you. Our journey into space is tied to this tool too. But think about it. In zero gravity, liquids just float around and form bubbles. That's a huge problem. So engineers had to completely redesign syringes so they would work safely for astronauts up on their missions.
I mean, when you really stop and think about it, the impact of the syringe is just staggering. You've got life-saving vaccines, insulin for people with diabetes, anesthesia for surgery, all our blood tests, emergency medicine, the list goes on and on. It is, without a doubt, one of the most essential medical devices on Earth.
So the next time you see a syringe, I want you to remember it's so much more than just a piece of plastic and steel. It's really a symbol of human ingenuity. It's a testament to our ability to solve huge problems with simple, brilliant little tools.
And it's just this powerful reminder, isn't it? That sometimes the inventions that really truly change the world, they aren't the biggest or the most complicated ones. They're the ones that fit right in the palm of your hand.